Alaska, many businesses are bracing for what could be a sluggish summer. Visitors are even being told by their home countries to take their vacations and money elsewhere.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media.
$21 billion just vanished from America's balance sheet. In March 2025 alone, foreign visitors dropped 14%, enough to wipe out a year's worth of tourism exports. Walk through JFK or LAX today, and you'll hear luggage wheels echo off empty walls. 10 international airlines have already pulled out in the past year, erasing routes that once funneled millions into hotels and local diners. Every lost percentage point of visitors drains another $1.8 billion from the economy and triggers fresh layoffs in tours, restaurants, and rideshares. Stick around. By the end of this, you'll see why even giants like Qatar Airways, Lufthansa, and Singapore Airlines quietly erased America from their maps. The culprit, tariffs, border red tape, and fading safety turning a shopper's paradise into a danger sign. This isn't minor turbulence, it's a nosedive. Ready for the full story? That $21 billion hole gets deeper when you look across the Atlantic. Play Airlines, Iceland's last budget carrier flying to the U.S., just announced it's done for good. New York goes first on September 1st. Boston follows September 15th. Baltimore, Washington is gone by October 24th. That exit sounded like a starter pistol for more departures. Within 30 days of Play's pullout, arrivals from Northwestern Europe sank 17%. The first big drop since travel bounced back after COVID. A major hotel CEO told Bloomberg that European bookings for U.S. trips this summer are already down 25%, even as the chain's reservations rise elsewhere. Translation: beds are full in Toronto and Barcelona, while Vegas suites gather dust. Airline strategists admit the numbers don't add up. Tariffs inflate parts costs. Border checks add hours. One viral clip of TSA chaos can vaporize demand overnight. For Play, the math is brutal. A single-aisle jet with 180 seats needs 85% full to break even on a 6-hour hop. Miss that by 5 rows and the route bleeds cash. So Nordic bean counters pulled the plug, redeploying planes on short, tax-friendly European routes instead. The fallout hits U.S. soil hard. Every lost European visitor erases about $1,800 in local spending, from rideshares to Broadway shows, and cuts hotel payrolls already short-staffed. Wall Street analysts warn of a tourism slump spreading from coastal hubs to the heartland as flight maps shrink. Would you fly 10 hours in coach only to stand 2 more in immigration lines? Look north, it's the same story. After Washington's new tariffs made headlines in March, bookings on Canada. U.S. flights collapsed over 70% through September 2025. Airlines answered with the axe, cutting 320,000 seats between April and October, equal to grounding 8 wide bodies daily. That capacity didn't disappear. WestJet's pumping jets into Dublin and Edinburgh instead, Air Canada to Spain and the Caribbean. Hotel CEOs say rooms once filled with Maple Leaf passports now sit empty, while properties abroad hit record rates. The consumer shift is brutal too. A Longwoods poll found 6 in 10 Canadians are less likely to vacation in the U.S. this year, citing border waits, gun violence, and trade spats. Older travelers are quickest to bail. Many say America just isn't worth the hassle anymore, so they spend in Mexico or Japan instead. Each family that stays away strips about $1,800 from local economies, and the ripple spreads to restaurants, rental cars, even Broadway casts. Add it up, and you get a domino effect far beyond airports. When airlines cut routes, TSA hours shrink, concession stands close early, taxi lines vanish. Trade war blowback is no longer theory. It's empty seats on a Porter turboprop that never leaves Toronto's waterfront. If you're watching from Toronto or Vancouver, what's your deal breaker? What keeps you from crossing the border this summer? Let us know below. Europe's big airlines are quietly shifting jets and profits away from the U.S. On April 29, 2025, Lufthansa CEO Carsten Spar said the group will cut fourth-quarter capacity growth to the U.S. from 6% to 3%, blaming lingering Trump-era tariffs for killing demand. Those seats aren't going empty. An April 1st schedule update shows Lufthansa boosting its Frankfurt routes to Seoul and Shanghai with fuel-efficient Airbus A350-900S, a clear pivot to Asia's steady business traffic. Rivals feel the same pull. In late May, the Financial Times found Air France-KLM's transatlantic bookings for the crucial May-June window fell 2.4%. So they're shifting Boeing 777s to Tokyo and Singapore instead. British Airways is cutting back even more. Engine shortages forced it to drop its Gatwick-New York link from December 12, 2024 through March 25, 2025, wiping out 100-plus flights during peak holidays and pushing crews onto higher-yield routes in Asia and the Gulf. Every rerouted widebody widens the U.S. revenue hole. A Frankfurt to Seoul swap alone is worth about $80,000 a day in ticket sales. Money that used to land in U.S. hotels, Ubers, and Broadway shows now fuels Seoul's Gangnam cafes instead. Bernstein analysts warn that if Europe's major airlines keep shifting east, the U.S. could lose up to 1 million high-spending visitors a year, draining $1.8 billion from local economies just as layoff warnings mount. It's worse across the Pacific. On October 24, 2025, Jetstar ends its Sydney, Honolulu route after 19 years, pulling out of U.S. skies entirely. Hawaii's hotels relied on nearly 270 Aussies per flight. Now those Boeing 787s head to Seoul and Bangkok, where fees are lower and no one complains about trade war surcharges. Jetstar's pivot is clear. Its June 17th update adds 10 more Sydney, Seoul flights a week. Another 100,000 seats a year for K-pop fans and duty-free shoppers. The demand is real. Skyscanner shows searches for Seoul from Australia up 47% year over year, the biggest jump for any long-haul route. What happened to the Aloha spirit? Travel agents blame a two-front price war. Jet fuel costs inflated by Washington's 50% copper tariffs, and hotel rates pushed up by the strong dollar. Families who once splurged on Waikiki now get 2 weeks in Busan or Phuket for the same money and skip U.S. border hassles. Singapore Airlines saw the same shift. In April, it cut its Singapore-Seattle route and dropped Manchester, Houston. The message: big spending business travelers are now east of the dateline. Airlines redeploy wide bodies to 4-hour hops in Asia. Same profit, half the fuel burn. The fallout is real. Honolulu Airport warns shops to brace for a 12% revenue dip this winter. Seattle, Tacoma customs officers are being sent to Miami, where Latin arrivals hold steady. LA Uber drivers now wait 40 minutes between airport pings, double last summer's average. In short, tariffs and traveler jitters are rerouting the Pacific jet stream. Airlines chase profits, and right now that path runs through Asian duty-free aisles, not LAX jet bridges. So next vacation, Tokyo sushi train or LA taco truck. Back home, the map keeps shrinking. JetBlue, unprofitable for 3 straight quarters, has quit 15 cities and cut over 50 routes, leaving parts of the Southeast and Midwest without a single bluetail jet. United is doing the same. On April 15th, it announced it will cut 4 points of domestic capacity in Q3 and retire 21 older jets. Those lost seats in Cleveland and Denver will reappear on premium routes to Paris and Sao Paulo, where passengers still pay for lie-flat beds. The pain runs deep. In May, the White House budget cut $38 million, more than half, from the essential air service program that keeps small towns linked. If Congress doesn't restore it, dozens of places could lose their last flight overnight. When big airlines drop thin routes, small regional carriers fill the gap, but only if Washington helps cover fuel costs. Without that, a ticket from Wolf Point, Montana, to Billings could jump from $89 to $400, if it exists at all. And when flights go, so do local jobs, TSA posts, rental cars, diners feeding the morning crew. The damage ripples through farming, healthcare, even college sports, turning one cut into a slow economic bleed. Governors promise emergency grants, but state budgets are already strained by wildfires and rising healthcare costs. So the question, if the federal lifeline snaps, can any state really keep small-town runways alive? From northern Europe to Midwest wheat fields, The story's the same. Airlines leave, gates sit empty, and a $21 billion tourism engine stalls. Tariffs push up costs, visa lines drag, safety concerns linger. 10 airlines have already dropped U.S. routes. More are eyeing the exits. Canada's jets land in Dublin. Lufthansa's in Seoul. Jetstar's in Bangkok. Rural Montana braces for a dark runway. If Washington won't ease trade fights, speed up entry, and modernize airports, America's flight map will keep shrinking. But this crisis could be a runway, not a dead end. Faster visas, smoother terminals, and stronger supply chains could put the U.S. back on top. So here's the million-dollar question. How long before the stars and stripes reclaim the one destination crown? 5 years, 10? Or is the window already closed? This was just the beginning. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up. Digital Garage has so much more in store.